Hello everyone, my name is Elizaveta. Welcome to WelcomeTech channel. Today we will be talking about mistakes that fresh US immigrants make, some things that they underestimate, some things that they do not think about because it's very different in the US than in their home country. And yeah, let's get started talking about that. The first thing is rent, taxes, and utility bills. So the US has most cities, especially big cities in the US, they have, I think, one of the most expensive rent in the world sometimes. And taxes generally are way higher than in other countries. And especially utility bills can be very expensive. So this is why you need to think ahead, which city are you going to move, which city you can afford, and how expensive is utility bills there. Each state has different tax levels, right? How much is that? And so on. So you need to think about that first things first. So many people choose the state and city that they want to live in depending on their preferences, and sometimes they don't think about these obvious things. So do not make these mistakes because you can you can get rid of all your money very fastly in this case. The second thing is underestimating the level of local prices. Even grocery prices in the US are very expensive sometimes. So this is why I think and I recommend people counting the average level that they want to support with the food and quality of life in general, and having some kind of safe money that they have saved for some time, and these money can cover the cost of their living for at least 3 months, about that, before maybe you find a new job, or I don't know, before you kind of accommodate in the US, because this is crucial and it's sometimes very important. The most important thing is, of course, medical services. They're very expensive in the US, and you will need to count this thing too. If you need some constant medical assistance, you will need to count how much this will cost, and you need to save some money in case of urgent situation, which is also possible, and medical services are extremely expensive there. The third thing is the employer and possible problems with the employer. It really depends on the type of the visa you're going for. If you're going for EB1 or EB2 and W visas, for example, they do not require the employer. And if you're interested in getting these green cards, please watch our other videos. I'll leave a link down below. If you are living in the US on work visas, for example, or other types of O1, J1 visas that are tied to an employer, you will need to have kind of a plan B. So if you lose your employer, what you're going to do? Because sometimes you're only left with a month or two to get a new employer, and otherwise you will need to leave the US, which is of course not something that you want to do. So this is why you need to think about some kind of a plan B. And if you have just moved to the US and you're looking for a job, sometimes the qualifications that US employers demand, sometimes the experience that they ask for is very different from things that you are used to in the country that you have lived in before. So this is why you will also need to do some research on how much specialists you make in the US, and what qualifications are in demand right now. And the last thing is, of course, overestimating the level of your English language. US is a very international country. A lot of people live there, and there are some certain communities of people who speak their native language inside the US. And to understand people better, you will need to start understanding Indian or Chinese type of English better, and so on. Sometimes it's not that easy to accommodate when you just first moved. And especially when people move and they think about gaining their English knowledge already in the US, sometimes it may cause some problems, especially if you're looking for a job, right? And usually employers, they demand certain level of English when they are looking for different employers. So yeah, this is it. I think this is some of the main mistakes that people who have just moved to the US make. If you want to add something to that, please leave a comment down below. And if you're interested in free consultation on getting your US visa and interested in having a right to work in the US, so please sign up for a free consultation. We will be happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.